Well, hello and welcome to homework for September 10th, 2018. Let's see, I got a shout out for Amira, Aaliyah. Hey, Jordan, how's it going? Omar, Mabel, welcome back. Let's see, who else do I see? I can hardly read that lettering. Also want to shout out to Andrew, Amber, Denzel, how's it going, Diego, and I can't read some of the writing. That's okay, sorry. But anyway, just want to let you know, hey, it was a great day. Hope everybody got home a little bit dry. It was a nice, wet, rainy day, but it was also a good day for math. And so speaking of math, let's go ahead and get started. All right, remember that if you guys have any questions on there, I do not have duty tomorrow, so I will be in the classroom at 7:15. Now we're doing even numbers. So it's all even. So let's start off with number 2. Now remember, I wanted you to go ahead and show your strategy so you can do it on a separate sheet of paper. So number 2 reads 7, and I'm going to line up my decimals. You can make a chart or you can just line them up this way. Draw my arrow down. I have my decimal, my 7, and my 2. And then today we talked about the power of 0. 0 is my hero. And so I'm going to put the dotted line to show it. So what's going to come in here, the 7 is equal, the 2 is equal, the 0 is equal. So what I'm putting into this one here is the equal sign. All right, I'm moving over to number 4. 4 looks like it could be a little confusing because we got a lot of those. Let me see if I can move this up a little bit more. There we go. All right, so on my 4, I'll scan out just a bit. That wasn't scanning out, that was zooming in. Let me bring that out just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so on my 4s, I have 4 and 44 hundredths, and I can mark this my ones, my decimal. I have my tenths, and I have my hundredths. And then the next number is 4, lining up my decimal. Doesn't make any difference how many digits I have in my number. Always line up your decimals. 0 in my tenths, 4 in my hundredths, and look, I have a 4 in my thousandths. So 0 is a hero, and I'm going to put my 0 right here. All right, now I'm going to bring this down, and we talked about this today on how far do you go. So my 4s that I bring down, that's equal, so I'm going to put an equal sign right below. Look at this, though. 4 and a 0. I go to the next one. I'm going to stop because I'm done on deciding on what comes next. So my 4 is the greater number, so I know that I'm going to use the greatest sign. So 4 is greater than 0, and I'm coming up here, and look at this one here. 4 and 44 hundredths is the one I'm using, is greater than 4 and 44 thousandths. Okay? Does that make any sense to you? And then at any time, don't forget to pause the video, kind of process it, and then be able to move forward. All right, next number. Number 6. I have 5 and 4 tenths is my number here. And look at this one here. I have 5, my decimal I line up, bring down my next number. It's 4, and then I have 0, 0. Now remember, this is my ones place. I put my decimal here. This is my tenths, my hundredths, and my thousandths. So you can write it out, or you can put decimals. Well, now look at this. Remember, we said that we can use the power of 0 to hold the spot. So 0 is my hero. It's holding the spot. Does not change the value of the number. So I'm comparing 5 and 5, that's equal. 4 and 4, those are equal. 0 and 0 is equal. 0 and 0 is equal. So this right here, 5 and 4 tenths and 5 and 4 thousandths are equivalent to each other. All right, now this one reads order from greatest to least. This is large to small. Okay? All right, now we're doing numbers 8 and 10. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and number these out. So I'm going to do number 10, and I'm going to write these out here. So if I can move this over so you can see it on both sides. So here I have 1, my decimal, 0, 0, 1. Okay, check, got that done. This is my next one in between my semicolons. Okay, so I have 1 and my decimal 1, and I'm done there. Okay, now in between the next semicolon, I have 1 and my decimal, and I have 403 thousandths. That's done there. And then I go to my last grouping. It's 1 and 78 thousandths. Now I'm going to mark the top of mine. This is my ones place, my decimal. This is my tenths. This is my hundredths. And this is my thousandths place value. Now here, again, 0 is my hero, and I'm going to place this one right here. And now I'm going to bring down my numbers. I'm going to, remember, do greatest to least. Okay, so I'm going to move this over now. All right, so I'm bringing down my ones. I'm looking at my ones. Those are all equal. Okay, my next one, I'm looking for the largest number. So I'm coming to here, and I have a 4, which is going to be my largest number. So I'm going to place this first. 1 and 403 thousandths. I'm done with this one. My next largest number is right here. So I'm going to put 1 and 1/10. I could also put the 0 there. On benchmark, on a quiz, you may or may not see these extra zeros. Remember, the power of 0 is your hero. It does not change. It's a holding place value spot. It does not change the value of those numbers. Now, and I can cross this out. I'm left with this number and this number. Now, let's look at this one because we are putting them in order. These two are done. Now, this 0 and this 0, those are the same, right? So these two numbers are equal. So I'm done with, I can put equal here, it's done. Now moving over, I'm just looking at this number and this number. So in my hundredths place value, I see that the 7 is greater than my 0. So I'm putting my 1 and 78 thousandths is next. Now I'm done with here. And my last one that I'm going to put in is 1 and 1/1000. Okay? So if I'm going for my largest, I know that 403 thousandths is larger than 1/10, which is larger than 78 hundredths, which is larger than 1/1000. So you see how it decreases. All right? Now let's move on to number 10. Again, if you don't understand it, go back, play it slow, and step by step to see if you can see where you're going. I'm going to change to number 10. All right, got a call this evening on number 10. My buddy Ibram, let's see what we can do. All right, so I have the number 4 is my whole number. And next, my number in between these two semicolons is going to be 4 and 22 thousandths. Now remember, I have 4 wholes. I can put the decimal here. Do I have anything less than a whole? No. So I'm going to put 0 is my hero to hold those into place. Does it change the value? Is 4 wholes still 4 wholes? Absolutely. Now I'm going to take the next number, and I have 4 and 002, so it would be 2 thousandths. And my last set of numbers is 4 and 221 thousandths. Okay, Now I'm going to label this ones, 1/10, 1/100th, and 1/1000th. I'm looking down the first set, and remember I'm going to be doing this in order from greatest, from the largest to the smallest, greatest to least. And so all my 4s are equal. I'm coming over here. Well, look, I have all zeros except for the 2. So this is going to be my largest number. And now I can cross that out. Now, all these other zeros are equal to each other, so I can't do anything. Now I'm going to look at this next one. So that's done. 0, 2, and 0. Well, the next largest number is my 2, so this is the number that's going to come here. So I'm going to place that here. 4 and 22 thousandths. And I'm going to cross that out. I'm done. The last 2 numbers that I have are these here. So since those are equal, I have to go to the next group. Does that make sense? So I see in the thousandths place value, I have a 0 and a 2. Well, the 2 is much greater than 0. So here I have 4 and 2 thousandths. Okay? And then the last number that I have left is just 4 wholes. So I can leave my 4 like that, or I can have 0 as my place to hold my spot. Because these are all 4 and they have more numbers, digits afterwards. So they're greater than 4, that's greater than 4, and that's greater than 4, and 4 is equal to 4, so that's the least number. So does that make some sense? Great. Don't forget to line up your numbers. I'm telling you right now, it will make it easier. Label your place value holders so that you can see exactly where you're going. Document this fact that if all of those numbers are equal, you have it equal. You're pulling out only the numbers, cross that out, write your first digit. Then you're only working with 3. All of those are equal. You're able to move on to the next one, to the hundredths. And then you have, again, whatever is equivalent, the largest one, and then you start to eliminate by documenting it. All right, now I'm going to go to number 12. All right, this is the one that I was talking in class about. All right, so I have 8 and 25/100ths is less than 8 and blank. But this number here is going to be, this number here will be less than and what would be, then you're going to have any number that will go there. And then you have 6, which is less than 8.361, or 8, I didn't even say that, listen to me, 8 and 161 thousandths. All right, so what number could we put in there? Which number is going to be greater than 8 and 25/100ths? Okay, I hear all sorts of shout-outs. Yes. So you can have 3, which is greater than 8 and 25/100ths. So 8 and 3/10ths. If we had an imaginary number, that would be 30th. So that's greater. Now let's take a look at what we have here. If we were to take this number here and we added that one here, so now we would have